autistic behaviour is human behaviour. It's just calibrated differently.
So
there's no minimising or erasure going on.
So the example I use is that yes, most people will have a normal morning routine, and that's actually a fairly normal thing. They get up, they have a routine before they go to work. Fine. Now, if my routine gets messed up, oh God, all hell breaks loose. Okay, and it's my morning routine is not just this thing that I happen to do every day. It's actually optional. The whole day is reliant on how that routine goes. If it gets messed up, I cannot do anything for the rest of the day unless I go back to the start and do the routine again. Or if I can't do that morning routine, I cannot do certain things throughout the day. You know, it's more than just the kind of average morning routine. The whole day depends on how well I can do that routine.
Or like if I say, I find travelling really hard, I find driving or travelling on public transport really, really difficult, and somebody says, but nobody likes that, and I had to drive this distance, blah, blah, blah. It's the difference between it being discomfort or difficult to almost impossible, if not completely impossible. And that's the thing, isn't it? It's not something that we can just deal with. And our day's been a bit rubbish. That's derailed everything.
So I think people, when they say that, I don't mind that they say that almost, because I can kind of say, well, actually no, because what I'm trying to deal with is a neurological difference. My brain is wired differently. It's not that I'm just being awkward. It's not that I'm doing normal things that everyone else does, but to an extra extent. Actually, my brain is different to yours, and these things matter.
When people think about when you disclose you're autistic, some people almost have this mental image of where they're kind of looking into your brain and they see this tiny little autism gland that you can overcome.
But let's pluck it out.
You know, you can overcome it. We're all a little bit autistic. Like there's this tiny autism gland, which I'm sure somebody's doing a PhD to try and discover.
With mice.
With mice.
Hashtag autism gland, guys.
I'm not looking up that hashtag.
With mice and with zebrafish, is that right?
Zebrafish.
Now, how you put a mouse through an ADOS examination, I'm not quite sure.
What about an autistic uterus and get it to do a Sally Ann test?
Sally puts the ball in the box. Where does the uterus think? She will look for the ball.
Is that uterus a little bit autistic?
Well, I guess it depends where she thinks the ball is. You know, I often wonder with the mouse thing when they go repetitive behaviours, and I'm like, there is a tank. You know, what are they going to do? They're not going to nip out to the shops on a Monday and then have tacos on a Tuesday, are they? They're going to walk around their cage and like maybe go on the wheel now and again.
They're going to start knitting and making a casserole. You know, I'm really surprised.
Or things like the mouse has drank, you know, like repetitively, and you're like, we all drink
drinking. That's a well-hydrated mouse, not an autistic mouse.
It's like, so what's the developmental history like? Was there trauma? Did the parents have any mental health condition?
They didn't squeak enough.
Or well, that one actually chewed its own foot for a while, you know? How do you do that? I have no idea.
See, no, we have to laugh like we do and have a little bit of a dark sense of humour because this stuff can get it can make you feel quite weary and emotionally exhausted. So we have to make these jokes about mice and zebrafish because when people say things like, you're just a little bit autistic, you just want to scream from the rooftops about what your difficulties are. But then it makes me double back on myself and I get quite protective because as a mum, I have to protect my family and our interests, and I do not want to have to perform the negativity that people expect of me. Put that out there on social media so you feel comfortable in me being autistic. My family life and my functioning is not a bargaining chip for autism awareness. You either learn this stuff and accept me standing in front of you,
I think this is a point though, that if someone openly discloses that I'm autistic, don't go, oh, we're all a little bit autistic, or but you're pretty high functioning. Just say, okay, can you explain a bit more? If someone asks me, can you explain what autism is? I'm happy to do that.
I will talk all day about autism.
I will lose my temper if someone goes, oh, but we're all a bit autistic.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no.
But
we can't be a little bit pregnant. We're either pregnant or we're not. It's the same thing.
Oh, I ate some cheese today, so I'm a little bit autistic mouse. Do mice eat cheese? Is that a myth as well?
I haven't seen the studies on cheese uptake.
Cheese uptake in mice. Right. I bet there's a PhD on that too. There was a PhD on locusts, I believe, watching Star Wars.
What?
Honestly, and it won an award because
they used my mouse. I don't know if you.
They used the eye tracking information from it for something really important, apparently. So yeah.
Okay. Science can be strange and useful.
Science can be strange, but autistic mice are not.
No.
Unequivocally. No. That's my serious face.
But when they get older, do people tell them this 3-year-old mice that's world weary and aging? Do they say, "Oh, you've finally grown out of it"?
Yeah.
The autism.
There we go.
That's the next one. Growing out of autism.
Yeah. So I'm now 22. I'm about 5 years out of growing out of my autism.
How do you feel?
I feel very neurotypical.
Oh, what's that like?
Let's bust another myth then, guys.
Very boring.
So, can you grow out of autism? We've kind of segued into that quite nicely.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
I will be autistic for life, and I'm quite glad of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it brings up quite an important point that we don't know what aging autistic people experience, and we are out there. We've always been out there. Something I always bring up, there's autistic cave paintings 4,000 years BC. We have been around for a long time, and we continue to be. But and then have you had that when you talk about autistic people have always been around? You get people. I had this in a furniture shop. I was buying a bed. Well, I think you're the next evolutionary step. And I thought, okay, did I just pick like a really impressive divan that I'm the next evolutionary step? But it was because I told him I was autistic for some reason. And all of a sudden, I was picking up the bed and then I was the next evolutionary step.
I am going to play devil's advocate here.
What?
I quite like the idea of being the next evolutionary step.
It can make us feel quite chest puffy.
I want to be an X-Man.
Put it this way, if autistic people didn't exist, neurotypical people would literally just be making small talk.
Standing around the cave.
Yeah, there you go.
The entrance of the cave.
We wouldn't have had Alan Turing.
No.
We probably wouldn't have iPads and iPhones and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Autistic people do drive.
Yeah.
Human development.
See? Literal thing.
Evolutionary.
So, like, I forgot my point.
But yeah, I want to be the next evolutionary step. I remember reading when I was a child that we only use something like 5% of our brains and thinking, I want to use the rest of it.
So
maybe we do. Maybe
we're on a myth-busting episode. That's not true.
What?
That we only use 5%
of our
brains.
True.
No, I read that when I was a child. I don't know if it's true or not.
It's not.
Okay.
Yeah, myth-busting there for you.
I do quite...
No, it's fine.
I do quite like using when I'm delivering a talk or I'm just boring somebody about autism. I do like the little image that does the rounds quite often of one brain scan of a neurotypical person looking at an image of a horse, I think, and then Temple Grandin's brain all lit up like a Christmas tree looking at the same picture. I quite like that because that's a nice visual for someone to take away, and also it shows you're not just a little bit autistic. It's literally our brains work
everywhere,
completely different.
And that's really interesting to me because talking about chronic pain, your brain reacts differently then when you've got a chronic pain condition. So your brain lights up like a Christmas tree to something like that. So and there seems to be a lot of overlap with sort of chronic pain and autoimmune and things and autism. So you have to wonder, don't you?
Yeah.
Is there something going on that does make our brain react differently?
And I think if we're talking about brains, it kind of proves we don't grow out of it. It's not a behavioural thing that we're choosing to do. It's actually our physiology.
If you ask the guy in Happy Homes, we will evolve into a purely autistic master race.
He was commission based though, Hayley.
I'd already bought the bed.
He was trying to sell you the topper and the Wonder pillows.
I bought the bed. It was sealed.
You're evolutionary, madam. Let me tell you about our new space age pillows. You must buy them.
But do you know what his source was? His source, I did ask where he'd got his evidence from, being the amateur scientist that I am. And it was some Predator film. One of the releases. So I don't know if he's expecting my face to open up like my
unhinge my jaw.
Yeah.
There's where the autism is.
That's how you grow out of it. But his source was a bit part by a small child that's very stereotypically autistic in a Predator film. And the Predator comes back down and selects this child because the Predator's aware that he's got vastly superior genetic code because he's autistic.
Is this guy aware that Predator doesn't exist? Like it's
I didn't want to break that bubble. He seemed really happy.
And they say we don't have empathy.
You see? I was displaying empathy.